How about some crazy Lunar New Year's nails? So this is my inspiration, and what I ended up with, I think that's pretty darn close. So I was going for something along the lines of Tang Dynasty, excuse me, Tang Dynasty ceramics and some watercolor. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got a base coat on my nails of just this jade color magnetic polish. I got it from Nail Supply Glamour out of Texas. It's really pretty. I'm not being sponsored, by the way, by any of the manufacturers that I'm using, but I'm telling you where I got this stuff. So these are some silicone forms I picked up on Amazon, and we've got some dragons going on. So these forms are curved, which is really cool because they'll fit on your nail without you having to try and shape them. And I'm going to do it by using this gold gel polish I got from Beetles online. We're also going to end up using some foils for this project as well. But let's start with our dragons. Now, I'm going to use this orange wood stick to make sure that I get this polish in all the little nooks and crannies. It's very easy to end up with air bubbles with some of these molds because they are pretty detailed. So I'm going to start by just globbing my gel polish in and then using my orange wood stick just to make sure that I get it all up in all the little edges there. So we'll just work it around. Very thin, which is kind of what we want, because if we puddle it in too thick, it's not going to cure. Now these shapes are so tiny that it will be impossible to not get the polish on the places you don't want the polish. But I'm going to show you how to deal with that too. So we're just going to work it in. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's all right. Get a little bit more down here. It's a little thin right there. Maybe get there too. Now I'm going to take the other end of my orange wood stick and I'm just going to try and get off as much of the overflow polish. So the polish that got where I didn't want it, I'm just going to try and see if we can wipe off as much of it as we can. All right, looks good. Looks like I missed one of his little claws. We'll get some of that in there. Get rid of the excess. Okay. Let's put that in the lamp. Now, we are out of the lamp. Looking good. Oh, did you see what just happened there? I lost one of his claws. So I want to show you this. It's super, super fragile. And I'm trying right now to flake off some of the little bits that overflowed. But you can see it's just so fragile. Gel polish doesn't have strength to it. It's not a builder gel. And the shapes I'm working with are so detailed and intricate and delicate. I think that's going to look really good, but I can't use this one, and here's why. Boop. all done. So we got to figure out a way that we can do this without having it be just so super crumbly. So let's start over and go through this a little bit faster. Pulled it out of the lamp, checking it, make sure that it's all fully cured. And now that it's fully cured, before I take it out, I'm going to do something else. First, I'm going to scrape off any excess overflow. So rather than pull it out of the form and then try and pick it off, we'll just scrape it off right now. And we're using the silicone form to support the shape, the dragon, so I don't have to worry about breaking it while I go ahead and just clean up all of the edges. Just a really easier way to do it than to wait till after you get it out of the mold. So do this first. Now, we got one more thing we're going to do. I'm going to take a no-wipe top coat. My top coat is much more durable than my regular gel polish with all the pigment in it. I'm going to brush the whole back here with my top coat. A nice good quality top coat. And notice I'm getting it everywhere. I'm not worrying about keeping to the shape. So now that it's out of the lamp, see what I have here? Now watch me take it out this time. I didn't lose one of his little paws. And now it is much stronger with that top coat on the back than it was before without it. So as far as all the little flaky bits go of the overflow of the top coat, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get rid of the most offensive areas, but I'm not going to get rid of all of it because again, it's what's helping to keep that shape together stronger. And I don't have to worry about getting rid of all of it because when I put this on my nail and do my final top coat on my nail, you're not going to see it at all. So, back to our base nails. We got some more stuff to do. I'm going to put some foil on them before I put that dragon on my nails. This was kind of my idea. So this is the nail polish with the foil on it. This is going to be a really forgiving foil because it's kind of like a camouflage, and if it goes on some places and doesn't go on other places, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect because for any of you who have tried foils before, foils are super tricky. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. So I'm going to cut off some chunks. Some people like to just keep it rolling on the spool as they do this, but I find it easier to just cut off little chunks and work with it that way. Everybody's got all sorts of different techniques to try and work with foils because they are fussy. I think a lot of people would agree with that. And I'm going to use a foil gel that I just got online. Nothing special, no particular brand. But here's the trick I found, the first trick I found with the foil gels, is you got to practice with it first and find out with your lamp what time works best. So this particular gel says 60 to 90 minutes. So in my lamp I found that 60 to 90 seconds. Well, I found with my lamp 70 seconds seems to be the ideal. So let's go ahead and stick this on here. Some people say letting your nails cool a little bit before you put the foil on helps with the adhesion. Now I'm going in here with my orange wood stick to try and burnish it down. And I think this is giving me some pretty good results. And then just use my fingernail to do this as well. I think it's good. Now watch me yank it off really fast because I've also found that that is part of the secret. Is if you pull it off slowly, it doesn't stick as well. So, you gotta rip it off like a Band-Aid. And there you go. So you can see I pretty much got everything off of that foil. Let's go ahead and do another one. I've already cured my foil gel. And because this camo isn't a full cover foil, when I do pull the plastic off, my nail polish underneath is actually still tacky, which is convenient because it's going to allow me to fix some places that may not have transferred as well. That one was pretty good, but I think I'd like a little more, a little bit more in a few spots. And like I said, I can do this because the polish is still tacky. Now, the orange wood stick works pretty good. See, I got a good transfer there. But I did find one thing as I went along. If you press too hard with the orange wood stick, I actually found that some of the foil would actually release from my nail and stick back on the plastic again, if that makes sense. So again, another one of these, you gotta play with it type of suggestions and figure out how much pressure is enough pressure, how much is too much. Foils are fussy, but they're fun, and the results are pretty cool. So I'm gonna do the rest of them. Maybe add a little more, maybe not. I don't know. But here we go. I've done all but the last one. And like I said, in the course of doing this, I realized that using my fingers to burnish actually worked pretty good too. So as far as pushing too hard and lifting the color back up again, not so much of a problem when you're just using your fingers to do it. So again, try it with your fingers and see if you can't get the foil to stick, just with using your fingers, and see how that works. Because again, sometimes, there we go. So sometimes you can burnish it too hard. Some people like to use silicone tools, some people like the orange wood sticks, but sometimes just using your pressure from your own fingers works pretty well too. So figure out what works for you. So now I've got them all done. They're top coated. My dragons are on. You can't tell where that extra polish was. Like I said, I think they look pretty crazy. So anyway, have fun with foils.